because you are being unlocked and activated, and more light is pouring in. The question is, how do I know if I am enlightened? And what are the signs that come to the experience? The word light is very prominent in the word enlightenment, and this is for a reason. What you may not perceive is that all that you are aware of is illuminated with light. There are structures that are more dense because they are not activated with the light of consciousness. And really, what those are, ooh, this is cool. It's code. It really is like the Matrix. So, for example, things like this table, it's code. I truly see like light language and number coding when I look at this table from an energetic perspective. And these are all projections. So the difference is in the movie The Matrix, it was created by an outside source. In this experience, we are the ones creating it. We are the ones actually on a very unconscious level. It's actually coming from source knowledge. We are projecting this sort of number or symbol sequence to create the physical level experience that we're existing in. We're the ones projecting it. It's just we're not aware. When you go into a psychedelic space, maybe a plant medicine space, or if you go into a very high level of consciousness, you will start to see the number coding that creates all things. I've had this experience. I'm speaking as me. I've had this experience in my waking life where even with my eyes open, I was seeing light code every time I looked at something. Now, the things that are more dense, the things that are not embodied with the light of consciousness are going to have those sort of number codes because they're more dense. Humans are going to have what looks more like light coding, and yet it's really all light. It's really all light. That's why we call it light codes when we see the symbols written out, or light language, because it is light. It is closer to the expanded truth of higher frequency states, meaning we are witnessing higher frequencies when they are embodying the light of consciousness. We're witnessing those higher frequencies. To create something like a table, it doesn't take super high frequencies. It's just a number code that we're projecting into our world. I love this. This is so fascinating to me. So, that being said, to experience enlightenment is a graduation of stages. It's a graduation of steps. When we are at a very high capacity of enlightenment, we see the illusion all the time, meaning we see multiple variations of this denser version of reality. We see truth, which means that we can see all instead of a narrowed point of view, which is why as we raise our consciousness, we become what we call expanded. Not only do we become more filled with light, but we become expanded in our ability to see that all is beautiful, all is true, all is full of perfection, that there is no opposite to itself. So, this is a sign that you are at a specific stage of enlightenment, that you can see that all is true and all is perfect and all is absolutely beautiful, because it all is. It's just the isness without the opposition, without the push pull. Now, it does humans well. It will do you well to not view enlightenment as a particular destination, because that's not true. From our elevated perspective, witnessing the experience of being human that you're going through, that doesn't serve you, because part of being a human is to externalize your power, which is to say, externalize your experience. When you are believing that there is a specific place that you need to get to, that is again externalizing the experience. Closer to the truth that can be translated into your experience or your reality is that enlightenment is a series of stages. It's different valves within human consciousness being open to allow more of the light codes to come in, which is to also say you become illuminated. That is one of the other signs. You glow. And this glow is is visible even to the human eye. You are no longer tricked by the physicality or the illusion of physicality. So things like levitation become natural for you at certain stages of enlightenment. The illusion of physicality becomes less real. It becomes something that you get to play with, but not necessarily that you're confined by or confounded by. Instant change, because again, the physical self is not necessarily bound by the mental illusion that we place on it. So you become illuminated, you become filled with light. This light no longer hurts the physical self at a certain capacity. So, as each person is going through their own awakening journey, sometimes the light coming through feels physically uncomfortable or even painful. A lot of people talk about this during activations, Kundalini awakening, things like that, where as the channels open, the light streams through and it becomes maybe caught in certain areas that haven't opened yet to allow this channel to go through. There is no judgment placed on any of these processes. There is no hierarchy from our perspective of how good or how worthy you are based on what channels you have open. Now, the game is to open the channels at this point. The game is to become enlightened in that you are full of light. Again, at a certain capacity, it's highly pleasurable. And also, it's simply a part of the human expansion process during this current era. It's just what we've all decided to do. It is a part of the natural unfolding. And this natural unfolding, when viewed from the human perspective, does have the lens of good and bad, which is perfectly fine. From our perspective, it's simply what is, it's simply what's happening, it's what's unfolding that we witness with great fascination. As you can hear, guides are coming through right now. It's not Allison speaking. It's the expanded version of Allison is what we want to share with you. Various states and stages throughout this whole process occur. As something that's more familiar to many of you is that becoming enlightened means that you view others with light. You view them from the place of how incredibly beautiful they are, how incredibly fascinating they are, how filled with light they are. You see their light. This is because coming into light consciousness, as we'll call it, which is another way of saying enlightenment in various stages, coming into light consciousness inherently means that there's a unification or a remembrance of all being one. And so all other beings, all other humans are seen as aspects of the self and loved fully from that space. And in fact, all actions that humans take are viewed through the lens of love. There is no opposition in this lens. The body heals instantly. There's an alignment with the true path of the divine template. Oh, well, interesting. Healing the physical body can be done by jumping consciousness, essentially, witnessing another being who is living in this full divine love and embodying their state of being so that it feels familiar. Remember that light is an entire prism of colors. And this is important because one of the signs that you will see as a physical manifestation of more light coming through the system are things like rainbows. Those of you who see sacred numbers, this is because of an awakening. This is because you're starting to see the symbology of your entire experience. You're starting to see that this reality is really built on numbers. And so it would make sense that if you are allowing the full spectrum of light consciousness to move through you, that you would see the symbol of rainbows. This is a timeless symbol that many people have awakened to. If you are seeing rainbows, this is a sign that this is starting to embed and that you are embodying this level of consciousness within your DNA coding. Oh, there's just so much that wants to come through on this. It's truly fascinating. It's truly endless. We could go into the symbology of each number, of every number, and the coding. What I'm hearing right now, and I apologize, my loves, but I don't want to do this right now. But what I'm hearing is I could get the number symbology for building a table in the etheric realms. And it really is like ones and zeros. And I see an 8 in there. So I'm guessing that it's not just ones and zeros, but it's really fascinating. It truly is the number codes. There's number codes for everything. And so when we see sacred numbers, what we're seeing is the code that activates a particular spectrum of light within the human experience and the body and the beingness of the witness. If you see 1111, that's going to activate and unlock specific codes within your divine template that matches a specific frequency. And this is why at times when you see these sacred symbols, you feel the physical ascension symptoms. There's a ringing in the ears. There's a feeling of dizziness. There's a feeling of moving outside of this thing that we call reality, because you are being unlocked and activated and more light is pouring in. It's a reciprocation. Not only are you projecting this into reality, but you're witnessing what is, and it's being projected back to you to further awaken you. It's a powerful process.